want to guide you through a short practice on balance. We're going to explore a couple of simple balancing poses. So we're going to begin in all fours position. You're not going to spend an awful long time mobilising, getting the body ready. I'm presuming the body's nice and warm, yeah. So we're going to start hands under shoulders, knees underneath hips, just a couple of simple cat-cows. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, move into cat. So I want you to focus really more on connecting to your breath. When we want to balance, it's important that we try to have a quieter mind. If the mind is busy and agitated and distracted when we're trying to balance, we'll find it harder to balance it. We're just going to really start to connect with our breath, breathing in to fill the belly, breathing out to arch the back, and start just to allow distractions to move out of the mind. So really focusing completely on the breath, moving through the body, and the gentle flexion and extension of the spine. Start to focus more inwardly and start to connect less with external distraction. We're going to come to a sort of tabletop position. We're in neither cat nor cow, we feel quite stable. We're just going to start to switch on the balancing muscles, the core muscles that have to sort of move and stabilise or release, so that we are starting to build this awareness in our mind that, yeah, we're going to start to do some balancing. But in a simple way, in a way that's more stable on the floor. So have the hands under the shoulders, knees into the hips. You might want to just move your right knee across a little bit. We're going to extend out the left leg and have the toe of the left foot resting on the floor. And shift the body weight slightly forward so you've got your wrists, elbows and shoulders in a line, and you should find once you're in that position, and if you draw a little tension into your tummy, that your left foot will come off the ground. We're just going to focus on the space just down in front of us. Be aware that we may be shifting too much to one side or the other, trying to equal the weight out as much as we can. And then simply lower that knee down to the ground. Move the knees together, and then do the same on the other leg. So we're just going to start with the toe on the floor, and it might be that your balance isn't very good. You need to keep the toe on the floor. And if you can, we lift the foot and the weight shifts forward, so we've got wrists, elbows and shoulders again in a line. We're broadening slightly upper back, and we're trying to level the pelvis, so we're not lifting the pelvis, we're trying to level and flattening out. So it's not about really how high you lift your leg, it's more about how long your leg can be. And then we land the hip. And we're going to switch over again. So again, we're going to extend through the left leg, flex the foot, draw the belly in, broaden the back. And then start to reach your right hand forward. So it might be that you're just gently padding your hand forwards. Eventually, your hand will come off the ground. And you'll reach your hand forwards and try to turn your thumb upwards. Eventually, you're going to line your bicep with your ear and wrap your left shoulder in and press energy through your left heel and stretch forwards with your right hand in the opposite direction. Notice your body will wobble, that's fine, that's all natural. Then you bring your hand and your knee down, and we repeat it on the other side. So we extend out through the right leg. First of all, we find that balance point, and then if possible, we slowly extend through the left arm. Again, if you find you're really wobbly, maybe the hand needs to come down. Eventually the arm is lifted with the thumb up, and we're really stretching. We're trying to square the pelvis, so pull back on the left hip, and really feel that resistance and then stretch long. Find that focal point down on the floor to concentrate on. And then the hand comes down, the knee comes down. So from here we're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. So in this sort of low crouching position. And we're going to roll up very slowly through the spine. So we're standing up nice and tall in space. Okay? We're going to take a step towards, sort of from the back of the mat, a little bit of a step towards the front of the mat. Yeah, we're going to come into practice what we call Warrior 3, but we're going to start in what we call Warrior 1. So if you step your left foot forwards and your right foot back, and your right heel just about lands, and your foot is at a 30-degree angle, we bring the hands onto the hips. We might want to pick up that right heel and place it down when the hips feel square. Your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight. We've got this little tucking under of the tailbone. So straight away we feel a stretch in the hip and a little bit of tension in that right buttock. And again, we're trying to square the hips and feel like you've got equal weight pressing through both legs, the front knee's bent and the back leg is straight. So if you wish, you can lift the arms on the inhale, soften the shoulders on the exhale, and just hold this warrior one position for a couple of moments here. If it's too troublesome for shoulders, hands can be at the heart center. So just take your gaze ahead of you. Try not to allow your eye gaze to wander around the room. It will help with your balance if you're looking forwards. And you can always use a wall if you need to for balancing poses. So we're going to move into what we call warrior three from this position, which is a balance. And again, I'll take you through it slowly so you can stop whichever stage you want. The arms come down and they reach behind you. And see if you can turn the thumbs up a little bit to open the shoulders. And as you start to lean your body weight forwards, bend your left knee and shift the weight forwards out of the heel of your right foot. And if you keep leaning forwards, you'll find that your right foot will start to lift off the floor. Now, if you find it easy, you can take your arms wide like an aeroplane. Keep taking your gaze forwards and downwards, pulling back on that left buttock. Maybe bring a bit of energy into your right heel. And as you progress with this, you can start to lift the leg a little higher. So eventually the body is in this T shape. And if you're more advanced, the arms can then start to reach forwards and eventually maybe they would interlace. But for now, you might find it's easier for you, wobbly, 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 to take your arms to the side. To come out of it, you land the back foot and we step back, yeah, so the legs are shaped. And we're doing exactly the same on the other leg. So we step the other leg forwards, the right leg forwards. We come into warrior one, so we're back on the left foot. So your right foot is pointing directly forwards, your left foot is turned out at about a 30-degree angle, and again you square the hips. Tilt under the pelvis, press into your back heel, arms rise on the inhalation, exhale, and we lift up and out of the pelvis. So a lovely stretch in the hip flexor, very grounding pose, building strength. It's also going to give you a little bit of challenge to your balance because your feet are quite close together. You may feel like you're walking on a tightrope. If that's the case, you can make your feet a little bit wider. So we're going to move to warrior three. Arms come back, take a big inhale. Now as you breathe out, lean forward and start to shift the weight into your right foot. And what will happen is your left foot will naturally come off. You might find that you're just trying to play around with it to start with. You might not find that you can stay here for too long. And eventually you lift. And you start to tip your body forwards, pulling back on your right buttock, maybe stretching the arms in front of you or keeping them back, pressing that left heel high and starting to very slowly straighten that right leg as your spine is long. Now find a spot on the floor and focus and concentrate on it, keeping the spine nice and long. And recognise that your body will wobble. That's part of the process. Pressing equally into that standing foot. Try not to scrunch the toes. And when you step back to land, you can either step back or you can step forwards. The legs a little shake. So then we turn to face the front or wherever you want to face, it's fine. Feet together, stand up nice and tall. Take a breath in. Stretch the arms above the head, look up towards your thumbs. Feel the length in the ribs. And then when you exhale, you take the arms by the sides. So that was just a very short balancing sequence. Enjoy practicing. Once you master them, see if you can stay in those poses for a little bit longer. Namaste.